Good morning, I am Edlyn-ber from the Bisad English 1 and I am given two topics to discuss for this presentation. These topics includes the obstacles in intercultural communication as well as the key pointers in effective communication. So, our lesson objectives for today is to distinguish the different obstacles in intercultural communication as well as the key points that needs to be considered in effective communication. Before we begin the discussion, it is important to have a prior understanding about the key aspects that we are going to talk about today. Let's answer a few questions first. What is an obstacle? An obstacle is something that stops progress or achievement. It is anything that interferes with or prevents action that hinders one's ability to achieve a certain goal. Second question, what is intercultural communication? Intercultural communication is a discipline that studies communication across different cultures and social groups, or how culture affects communication. Now that we already have basic understanding of these aspects, we are now ready to discuss the different obstacles that intercultural communication faces. First obstacle, we have language differences. Language differences are an obvious obstacle in intercultural communication. So as you can see on the illustration that I have provided, if for example, you are a native English speaker and you are inside a Korean shop, of course you won't be able to communicate verbally even if you've studied Hangul or the Korean language, or even an interpreter is available because dialects, different accents and slang can cause problems. In addition, words don't necessarily translate from one language to another in a clean one-to-one correspondence, meaning to say the same English word may have different meanings to people from different cultures such as the Korean culture. Next obstacle, we have body language. Different cultures interpret body language in various ways. For instance, gestures that are seen friendly or considered friendly in one culture may be seen as offensive in another. So this lack of misunderstanding can cause misinterpretations and confusions during conversations. Let me give you a brief example. So in Evaton tribe, they tend to stick their tongues out as a way of greeting people or as a way of saying hi or hello. So of course, if you are new in that place or you have no idea about their culture, you're gonna take that as a disrespectful act. Since no one in your culture sticks their tongues out as a way of saying hello. Moving on to discussion, we have ethnocentrism. Again, what is ethnocentrism? Ethnocentrism is defined as the tendency to view other cultures from perspective of one's own, often leading to belief that one's culture is superior to others. So this kind of mindsetting can hinder effective communication. As you can see in the illustration, the white guy, or let me say the white guy, is telling the black person or black guy to go back to Africa because of his appearance or his skin color. So that is like the example of ethnocentrism, believing that your culture is the standard culture and not being able to understand different cultures. Next obstacle, we have the value of time. The value of time is a significant factor in intercultural communication as it varies wildly across different cultures. This concept is also known as the chronamics, or that refers to how individuals perceive and use time, which can lead to misunderstanding and obstacles in intercultural communication. For example, here in the Philippines, we Filipinos, we have the culture called the Filipino time, where we tend to be late in any occasion or event that we are going, and it is like practically normal for us. But in cultures such as Germany or Japan, punctuality is seen as a sign of respect and professionalism. Arriving late to a meeting can be perceived as disrespectful or unprofessional. Moving on, another obstacle in intercultural communication is the level of context. Level of context refers to how much information is conveyed through explicit verbal communication versus nonverbal cues and shared knowledge between cultures. So in intercultural communication, we have the high context cultures and low context cultures. High context cultures rely heavily on nonverbal cues, shared experiences, and implicit messages. And communication in high context cultures is often indirect and much is left unsaid, assuming that the listener understands the context, while in low context cultures, they prefer explicit, clear, and direct communication. They value straightforwardness and clarity. In the illustration, imagine a business meeting between a Japanese team is having a business proposal to the American team, and the Japanese team being the high context culture and American team as the low context culture. During the meeting, the Japanese team said, "We appreciate your proposal and will consider it carefully." So this statement, while being polite, is vague and implies that they are not fully on board yet with the business proposal. While the American team interpreting this literally, they might think that the Japanese team is happy or enthusiastic about the proposal, and they may proceed in making further plans based on this misunderstanding. So that is how the level of context between cultures can cause serious or can be a major or serious obstacle in intercultural communication. And we are now into the last obstacle. Actually, there are many obstacles, many more obstacles in intercultural communication, but I've chosen only the specific ones and the most common obstacles. Last obstacle, we have feelings and emotions. Feelings and emotions can significantly hinder intercultural communication by creating misunderstandings and conflicts. So when individuals from different cultural backgrounds interact, their emotional responses may not align due to differing cultural norms regarding expressions and interpretation of feelings. For instance, what is considered an appropriate emotional response in one culture may be viewed as excessive or inappropriate in another, leading to effective conflict. That is all for the obstacles in intercultural communication. I hope you got the most of it. Now, my question is it possible to avoid obstacles in intercultural communication? If you are going to ask me, I think we cannot really avoid obstacles in any type of communication because it is something that we cannot control. But the best thing for us to do is to make sure that we are open about others with their beliefs, cultures, regardless of their age, gender, and their race. Now we are into discussing the next lesson, which is the key pointers in effective communication. First one, listen actively. Listening is a fundamental aspect of effective communication. Engaging in active listening allows you to understand the speaker's message fully and respond appropriately. So for example, when you are talking to someone or you're communicating to someone and you can see that she or he is actively listening to you, of course you would think that they are interested in what you are talking about, and this will motivate you to be more open, to suggest more, to communicate your emotions or ideas very well. Next key point, we have respect and empathy. Respect is very important when communicating. because you have to show respect for others' perspective even if you disagree. So you don't have the right to tell someone or to disregard the opinion of someone just because you don't like it. You have to respect each other's opinions when communicating in order to achieve effective communication. And empathy helps in building rapport and understanding, which can lead to productive conversations. Moving on, be clear and concise. When conveying your message, strive to be clear and concise. Avoid jargon and overly complex language that might confuse your listener. The goal here is to ensure that your message is being delivered or to being easily understood. Next, we have another key point: choose the right time and medium. Timing can significantly impact the effectiveness of your communication. You have to choose appropriate time to discuss important matters and consider the best medium. Is it face-to-face or email or phone? Basing on the context and the message. Next key point: encourage feedback. Creating an environment where feedback is welcome can enhance communication. It allows for clarification and ensures that both parties are on the same page. That is all for the obstacles in intercultural communication and the key pointers that need to be considered in effective communication. Now, to wrap up this discussion, my question is: why does being aware of the challenges of intercultural communication, as well as the key pointers or the pointers for effective communication, is a crucial matter? So being aware of the challenges of intercultural communication and the strategies for effective communication is important because it enhances our ability to connect with individuals from diverse backgrounds. This awareness supports or improves self-reflection and ethical communication, allowing us to challenge our own biases and ethnocentrism while promoting understanding and respect for different cultural perspectives. Thank you so much for lending your ears in this discussion. I am again Edlyn-ber and I hope you learned a lot in these lessons to apply. You learn some things to apply in the future when you are faced or you are going to interact with people from their different cultures, and how will you integrate the things that you've learned in effective communication. Thank you so much and have a good day.